Hello there guys, welcome to another my live video. So Premier League football is back. Liverpool get the season underway this evening against Norwich. But on this video today I'm going to give you a Manchester United versus Chelsea preview. Going to give you the build up to the game. Going to give you my starting 11 prediction and all that. And also going to give you my press conference reaction of currently what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has just currently said. I've only watched currently some of it, but I will give you an update of currently what I heard on the current press conference. So basically, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has said, he's delighted with the club's summer transfer business. He hasn't become infuriated, with us failing, to sign two priority targets and all that. He's also given his overarching view on the situation with Romelu Lukaku leaving the club. Obviously, he'd confirmed that Lukaku had left Manchester United yesterday, and he reportedly said we didn't recruit a replacement for Romelu Lukaku to obviously prioritise the development of Mason Greenwood, because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has confirmed that Mason Greenwood will be promoted into the first team this season, and he will of course get them opportunities and all that. But basically Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said in regards to Romelu Lukaku, he did say it was time for Romelu Lukaku to go. He does believe Manchester United got a good deal out of it and that, and he hopes he starts really well into Milan. He did basically say did Solskjaer that he didn't participate throughout pre-season because obviously he'd had I think some kind of ankle problem and that, but obviously at that point it fueled more speculation. Obviously we do know Lukaku he'd been training with the Anderlecht reserves earlier on this week before his move to Inter Milan was fully completed in that, and obviously I think the club had fined him around 2 weeks wages with his refusal to return to training on Tuesday. So we do know Inter Milan have bought Lukaku for around £73.7 million, including add-ons. There's add-ons included in the deal, and I think it is Inter Milan's most expensive signing. I do believe he has signed a 5-year deal with Inter Milan. Obviously now I think we've done really good business there. We've generated a substantial amount for his current departure, and obviously now we'll pocket that, and obviously we'll look to spend what we've generated from Lukaku's departure of course in January. But analysing the summer transfer window, I do believe Manchester United got a really good three players in, to be quite honest. Daniel James, Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire. I think we spent in total around £148 million. I do believe on Sunday against Chelsea, Harry Maguire is going to be giving his Manchester United debut. Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka they're also going to get given their Premier League debuts and all that, so it will add more attacking dimension to the squad and that. So I'm really looking forward to the game on Sunday against Chelsea and that. But we could have done more business throughout the course of the window. I've got element of concerns about our midfield, to be quite honest with you, because we are lacking in that midfield, and I know we've still got Paul Pogba, but his future still remains uncertain at the moment. I think Paul Pogba's recently been out with some kind of back injury. But we do know throughout the course of the summer that Paul Pogba has been heavily linked with a move to Real Madrid. But I do believe he should be playing on Sunday. Well, like I just said, he's recently been out with back injury. But it's very disappointing, that we didn't get a midfielder in and all that. Because I did initially say that we needed 2 new midfielders in there, or maybe even at least one midfielder in that. But I do believe the targets we was in throughout the course of the summer was in for. I do believe we will revive our interest in them in January. So I think we'll go back in for Bruno Fernandes in January. I also think we'll probably maybe go back in for Christian Eriksen in January if he doesn't leave Tottenham this summer. I think we'll probably go back in for Sean Longstaff either in January or next summer and that. So the players we was in for throughout the course of summer, I do believe we'll revive our interest in them back in January. But I did initially say it was going to be hard for us to address all the problematic areas in one summer transfer window, because obviously this summer has been Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's first summer as Manchester United manager of course. But he's given his overall analysis on the window, and Solskjaer hasn't become infuriated. He believes the club have done good business in this summer transfer window. You can understand the fans' frustration and all that. But I do believe Manchester United are going to have a better season this season than what we did last season. Last season was a huge disappointment. Obviously we finished 6th. Obviously we didn't win any silver, and of course we failed to qualify for the Champions League. And I did say certain players may have reservations about joining the football club, because obviously we've got no Champions League football to offer. I do believe our expectations this season probably we'll be able to finish in the top 4, or maybe win doing some super well, and I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's obviously got to exceed these expectations. But Solskjaer also mentioned Paul Pogba throughout his press conference again. I think he got asked about his attitude, and he basically said his attitude's the same. He trains well and all that. So basically, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's praised Paul Pogba, and I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he's doing everything he can, to try and convince Paul Pogba to remain at the football club. But I think we're in danger this season if Paul Pogba, gets an injury. Then I've got definitely, a lot of concerns about that midfield. I've already got concerns about now. Obviously, for the entirety of the summer, Manchester United, were in search for them a right winner and that. But there's still key areas, where Manchester United are lacking. So I'm glad we've got that experienced centre half in through Harry Maguire. Obviously, we paid £80 million for him. Obviously, he's our second most expensive signing. He's also the most expensive defender now in the world, and that obviously he's under contract with the club to 2025. Well, he signed a 6-year contract with an option of further a year, and I think Harry Maguire is going to deliver really good to Manchester United. But I do believe the majority of the players, will get their chances this season. I think the young players, the fringe players, and the experienced players, they'll get all their chances. I do believe Mason Greenwood, Gomez and Chon, they're going to be a big part of the squad this season. But for me, I think players that do need to improve this season, I think Rashford's got to improve this season. I think Martial's got to improve this season. They did well throughout pre-season, did Rashford and Martial, but there was inconsistent in the last couple of months of last season, so hopefully they can improve. Daniel James, I still say he's a prospect and he needs time to develop, but with Daniel James, I think he needs time to develop. Basically, there's still improvements needed in his game, but he did do well, throughout pre-season. Don't forget Daniel James can play on the left; he can also play on the right. We played him on the right a couple of times, but he's supposed to be more effective on that left-hand side. With Alexis Sanchez, obviously now we've got a more fluidity now in our attacking line. So Sanchez, may perform better this season. I think Sanchez, as he didn't play throughout pre-season. I think he's been out for the last 5 or 6 weeks, hasn't he? I think he did sustain an injury, whilst he was on Copa America duty with Chile. I do believe now it has been confirmed that Sanchez is back in training, which is very, very good, because Sanchez has been a huge disappointment, since his arrival back in January 2018, because he hasn't exceeded expectation levels at Manchester United, as we all thought he would have done, because he did well at Arsenal, he did really, really well when he was at Barcelona, when he was obviously, of course, young, but hasn't replicated this at Manchester United, of course. But we do look much better now in that attacking third of the pitch. We've got that pace now, and that's something, of course, Manchester United lacked last season. With Fred, my overarching view on Fred, I think, hopefully he can have a better season as well this season. He hasn't performed to the same standard level, as he did, when he was at Shakhtar Donetsk and that, he did well throughout pre-season. Fred did well towards the back end of last season. I do believe he's a much better solution than the Nemanja Matic's Fred, if I'm going to be quite honest, because I believe he's more mobile and he's better on the ball than Nemanja Matic's Fred. So Fred will definitely get his chances this season. My opinions on Scott McTominay, I think he will have a better season this season again. Obviously he's gained more experience throughout pre-season. I was very impressed with McTominay throughout pre-season, but I do believe McTominay, he will also get his chances this season. But like I did say in regards to Fred, McTominay and Andres Pereira and that, I still don't know if they're the long-term solutions for Manchester United. I don't know if they've got all the attributes, to currently succeed at Manchester United, and this is why I have got concerns about that current midfield. And like I said with Diego Dalot, he'll get his chances this season. I do believe Alex Tuanzebe, he'll get his chances this season. Some Manchester United fans have orchestrated out, saying maybe we should loan a couple of young upcoming players out, because it'll be beneficial for their future. Also, it'll gain them a bit more experience and all that. But yeah, I think the young players, will get their opportunity this season. Obviously, we know of Eric Bay. He's obviously not out with an knee injury. He's out up until Christmas. I think Eric Bay's Manchester United career has been mainly affected with the amount of injuries he has sustained. Obviously, I think he's a very imperative player, and that is Eric Bay. But I think his Man United career it's really taken its toll on with the injuries sustained. Not only that, with his fallout under managers. Obviously, I think the club obviously now I think need to orchestrate on selling more players. I know we've got rid of Lukaku. Well, obviously since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's arrival, 4 players have now departed the football club. Valencia left at the end of last season after he served 10 years at Manchester United. Obviously, Ander Herrera left. Marian Fellaini left back in January, and recently Lukaku just currently left and all that. With Marcus Rojo, obviously he's been linked to a move away from the football club. As I did give you my update yesterday about Marcus Rojo. Obviously, it said Everton, were in for him and all that. Obviously, we can still, don't forget, offload Marcus Rojo to a European club, because obviously, you can still negotiate the sale of players until the 2nd of September. And we reportedly put a £25 million asking price on Rojo. I don't know if Everton were willing to meet that or not, but obviously Everton now can't get him. Rojo still got, I think he's got 2 or just under 2 years left on his contract with Manchester United. He's obviously made around 72 or is it 73 appearances in the Premier League for the club. He's been here about over, is it 4 or 5 years now. But I think Marcus Rojo's Manchester United career has been mainly affected with the amount of injuries he has sustained. With Darmian, I think he also needs to leave the football club because he's endured a very, very difficult time as Matteo Darmian. Let's be honest, he hasn't really been given the chance in that. And with Matic, I think he's really too inconsistent. Matic could be in line to start this weekend, obviously against his former club Chelsea. Obviously we paid £40 million for him a couple of years ago, but obviously Matic is too inconsistent. He's too slow. But it makes that midfield look totally imbalanced. He's aging up. He's not getting any younger. So I have got really, really strong concerns about our midfield. There's a question mark of what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to do with the youth this season. But we've got big ambitions for the future. Obviously I want to get back to winning trophies, and this is obviously something that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer does want to bring back to the club. But like I said, I think when the window was open, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer had held negotiations with Ed Woodward. About the lack of business in the transfer market, and you've got to blame the board basically. You can't blame Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So if he does go wrong this season, my blame's on the board. It's on Ed Woodward. You can also blame the Glazers and all that, because I hope Ole Gunnar Solskjaer can succeed at Manchester United, because obviously we don't want to sack another manager. We've already sacked 3 managers since Alex Ferguson's retirement, and like I said, the club haven't got the structures to keep sacking managers. But like I said, it failed under the David Moyes era, it failed under Louis van Gaal era, it failed under the Jose Mourinho era, and as you all do know, we're all backing Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I love Ole Gunnar Solskjaer a lot, and hopefully he can succeed at Manchester United. So yeah, like I said, the Man United-Chelsea game is this Sunday, 4:30 kick-off. Obviously it's the opening day of the Premier League season. So obviously Man United, it's at Old Trafford. Obviously the fixture last season between Manchester United and Chelsea, of course, was 1-1. I think it was goals from Mata and Alonso last season. It came from I think a goalkeeping mistake from De Gea last season. So obviously we dropped 2 points against Chelsea last season. But our record isn't the best against Chelsea. And reflecting last season, our record against the top 6 sides was very, very poor. So that's something else Manchester United have got to look to improve on. Yeah, so our record against Chelsea, is really, really good. We usually do good against them at Old Trafford. We beat them at Old Trafford, twice under the Jose Mourinho era. Didn't we beat them 2-0? I think we also beat them 2-1. And this is actually the first meeting between Manchester United and Chelsea on the opening day of the Premier League season. Since 2004 and the 2005 season. Obviously Frank Lampard, he's making his managerial debut in the Premier League for Chelsea. Obviously, Frank Lampard got appointed in early on in the summer as Chelsea's new manager, following the dismissal of Maurizio Sarri. Obviously Maurizio Sarri, I do believe, got sacked at the end of last season for Chelsea. Even though Chelsea did win the Europa League last season, they also got to the Carabao Cup final last season and all that. But Chelsea have got problems at the moment. Obviously, they've got a transfer ban. They can't do any transfer activity in the next couple of windows. They've got a transfer ban. Yeah, obviously they did lose Eden Hazard as well. Throughout the course of the summer. So yeah, there is problems at Chelsea at the moment. But yeah, they've got Frank Lampard in. Frank Lampard, he does know. He knows the traditions of Chelsea, and that he's going to succeed though at Chelsea, because he hasn't really got the experience of a manager as Frank Lampard. Don't get me wrong, he was a great player for Chelsea for 13 years, was Frank Lampard. So he was a long-serving player for them. I think he's their all-time record leading goal scorer with 211 goals. Is Frank Lampard, but he did serve 13 years with Chelsea as a player, and that he only got into management last season, did Frank Lampard, because obviously he was currently managing Derby. I do believe he did get Derby to the playoff final and that. And yeah, so Chelsea have obviously got Frank Lampard in. Obviously Juan Mata could also start in this game, or he could even participate in the game. Could Juan Mata? Obviously he's going to be reuniting with Frank Lampard, because obviously when Mata before he was at Manchester United, obviously he had 2.5 years with Chelsea. I think he actually played alongside Frank Lampard in the Chelsea team and that. So maybe Juan Mata could be in contention to start. But we usually do good against Chelsea at Old Trafford. But like I said, I think Man United are going to win this game. I think it will probably be a 2-1 or something like that. Chelsea have got a few injury problems as well. To give you an update on, I do believe they've got Callum Hudson-Odoi injured. They've also got Ruben Loftus-Cheek injured, and I think they've also got Rudiger and that injured. So Chelsea have got quite a few injury problems. But Chelsea are in Champions League football this season, as you all know, because they did win the Europa League last season. But as you all know, they can't do any transfer activity in the next couple of windows and that. But like I said, Lampard was a really good player. Just like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was a really good player for Manchester United and that. Very good player for Manchester United was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. No, I did say with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he has got a bit of experience as a manager. He did well in that 3-month period. When he was the interim manager last season. He won a couple of Norwegian titles with Mould. He managed the Manchester United reserve team and that for a couple of years. So I do believe Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is the right man to elevate Manchester United forward. But like I said, one of the most iconic meetings, between Manchester United and Chelsea, came 11 years ago. Obviously, when we beat them in the Champions League final back in 2008 in Moscow. Obviously, won the game on penalties. So that was one of the most iconic meetings, between Man United and Chelsea. Like I said, last season it was 1-1. I think we beat them in the cup last season at Stamford Bridge 2-0. That was actually the first time I think we won at Stamford Bridge, since 2012 last season. Obviously, it was 2-2 at Stamford Bridge last season in the league. Obviously, Chelsea beat us in the FA Cup final was it a couple of years ago and that. But we've actually only won 2 of our last 13 Premier League meetings with Chelsea. So that just indicates how much of a bad record we have currently got against them. But I do believe Manchester United are going to win this. Obviously after Chelsea we do go up against Wolves as well. Wolves is going to be a tough game as well because Wolves did really well last season. They finished 7th. Obviously I think they got into the Europa League for finishing 7th if I'm right. Nuno Santo's done a really good job in that. Wolves have spent a substantial amount of money. Don't get me wrong, but Wolves did finish 7th last season. So maybe Wolves, I think this season could maybe finish 6th. They could even possibly finish 5th. But I definitely think they'll finish in the top 8. Wolves, but they did have a really good season last season. They also did a double over us last season. They beat us in the cup, they beat us in the league and that. So we've got 2 tough, our first 2 games are pretty tough, to be quite honest with you. So we'll go now with the starting 11 prediction. So this is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer versus Frank Lampard. This is actually the first meeting as well, I forgot to mention, between Manchester United and Chelsea, where both managers previously played for their all their respective clubs and that. But I do believe Man United are going to come out on top in this game. Even though Chelsea have got really good players in that can cause Manchester United problems. But yeah, my starting 11 prediction is, I think, is he going to go with a 4-2-3-1 or is he going to go with a 4-3-3, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? Well, he could actually, go with a 4-2-3-1. So we'll go with a 4-2-3-1. So he's going to go with David De Gea in goal. Obviously with David De Gea, he's agreed a 6-year contract with the football club. Don't forget, I don't think his contract has been fully announced as yet. Well, I haven't heard out about it. But he's going to be in goal. Obviously, it's going to be Wan-Bissaka at right back. He was absolutely fantastic throughout pre-season for Manchester United. He's had a fantastic start to his Manchester United career. Obviously, the centre-back partnership is obviously now going to be Harry Maguire and Victor Lindelof. Obviously, that's going to be Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's first choice centre-back this season. That's obviously it's going to be hard for Smalling and Jones, to get their chances in that. With Harry Maguire, as you all know, his shirt number's been revealed. He's going to be wearing the number 5, and actually Rio Ferdinand, wore the number 5 for Manchester United. Left back, obviously, Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw is obviously our first choice left back. Obviously, he did well last season. Won the double player of the season, reflecting on his impressive performances. So that will be the back 4. Now, I've said the 4-2-3-1, so I think in the midfield he will definitely go with Paul Pogba. I think he'll be fit enough to play, even though recently he's had a back injury. It will be Pogba, and I do believe it will be Pogba and McTominay in that midfield, or it could be Pogba and Matic in that midfield. I don't know, but I'm going to guess it will be Pogba and McTominay there. And then I think the 3 attacking midfielders, I do believe, I think Mata will probably get the start. I think Mata will probably play in that number 10. Maybe one Mata won't start. I'm just giving my 11 prediction. I think Mata will play in that number 10, even though he can play on the right. Mata in that number 10. I do believe on the left hand side, probably Rashford or maybe Daniel James, but I'm going to go with Rashford. And I do believe on the right hand side, it will be Daniel James. So I think Rashford on the left, Mata in that number 10, Daniel James on the right, and I do believe Martial will play up top, because I think we're going to orchestrate on playing Martial more centrally this season, because Martial looks very effective in that central position throughout pre-season. He does seem to fulfil that number 9 role really well, does Martial. But yeah, that's my starting 11 prediction. So David De Gea, Bissaka, Maguire, Lindelof, Luke Shaw, Pogba, McTominay, 3 attacking mids, Rashford on the left, Mata in that number 10, Daniel James on the right, and Martial, of course, up front. Or Rashford could play centrally. I'm just giving you, obviously, my starting 11 prediction. And yeah, so that's my current prediction. But it's a shame anyway, guys, that we didn't get all our targets, that we did currently want, throughout the course of the summer. But we have analysing our recruitment policy isn't that good, especially in the last couple of windows prior to this other one. Prior to the recent one we've just had, we didn't get none in January. We didn't get our number 1 targets last summer, and obviously we didn't get our number 1 targets last summer because obviously the board weren't back in the signs that Jose Mourinho at that point wanted to recommend into the football club. Actually, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's actual preference was at the end of March. I think it was at the end of March, was to get the majority of our transfer business completed by the time we initially went out on pre-season. But obviously that didn't currently materialise. But you've got to blame the board for this. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, to be fair to him, he hasn't become infuriated. He's delighted with the club's summer transfer business and that, and yeah, he isn't frustrated with that, and obviously we'll go in January and try and get a couple of more new additions to the squad. I'm disappointed that we didn't get Bruno Fernandes because I think he would have been a great addition in our midfield. Sean Longstaff, I think we'll probably go back in for him in January. With Sean Longstaff, I think Newcastle were demanding too much. Newcastle said throughout the summer transfer window that they wanted £50 million. Steve Bruce obviously indicated out he's just recently been appointed as Newcastle's new manager not too long ago, and he actually came out did Steve Bruce and he dismissed speculation anyway of Sean Longstaff joining Manchester United. But yeah, it's disappointing, that we didn't get all the players, that we did currently want. I think we're okay on that left-hand side. Like I said, you got Luke Shaw, that's very reliable. Daniel James primarily, plays on the left. But I think Sanchez could improve this season because we look better now in that attacking third. The pitch is more fluid now, so Sanchez, could improve, and I hope he does. To be quite honest with you. I really hope he does. I do believe Solskjaer got a substantial amount to spend throughout the course of the summer, and we did spend £148 million. That is quite a lot of money. But obviously, anyway, we paid £80 million for Harry Maguire, but obviously we've just sold Romelu Lukaku, so basically we've just generated the money, majority of the money, should I say, what we've just, what we paid for Harry Maguire. I do believe there's also a selling clause included, of how Lukaku performs and that into Milan. But Man United and Chelsea is always a good fixture. My predictions for the league this season, probably between City and Liverpool, you've got to say, because they've both got really good squads. I don't think Liverpool they made any investment this summer, but they invested well in the last couple of windows. With City, I think they signed Joe Cancelo from Juventus. I think that got confirmed yesterday. I do believe Arsenal are going to have a better season this season. I'm going to give Arsenal credit because they did really well throughout the course of the window. Obviously, they started the window really bad, did Arsenal, to be fair. They only got around a tight budget of around £40 million to spend in that. And, Arsenal obviously, lost the likes of Aaron Ramsey. I think they did lose a couple of players, did Arsenal, but, they turned it around in that window. They got a good buy through Nicolas Pepe of £70 million. He's going to do really well in the Premier League, is Nicolas Pepe. He's going to replicate what he did, in his 2 years with Lille in France, because he was really good with Lille. He's got goals in him, he's got assists in him, he can create chances. Arsenal may have overpaid for him a bit, but I think he's going to be a great addition to Arsenal's squad. He's primarily a winner anyway, and that's obviously, we was in for Nicolas Pepe throughout the course of the summer. I didn't think he'd have gone to Arsenal at one point. He was looking like at one point he was going to go to either Napoli, maybe even Liverpool, because Liverpool were in for him for months, but so many teams were in there for Pepe. I think during his time with Lille, I think he must have scored like 37 goals in 79 appearances in all competitions. But yeah, very good signing for Arsenal. I do believe Arsenal also, got Kieran Tierney. I think they confirmed the signing of him yesterday, £25 million. Predominantly a left back, thinking also plays a right back. He's a really good signing, is Kieran Tierney. I know he hasn't really played to the highest level as yet, because obviously he's spent the entirety of his career with Celtic, obviously before he went to Arsenal, because he was a product of their academy, and I think he must have won about 5 Scottish Premier League titles and that with Celtic. But obviously the Scottish League is a pub league and that, so it's going to be interesting to see how Kieran Tierney performs in the Premier League. They also signed William Ceballos, or Ceballos, however you pronounce his name. Daniel Ceballos, sorry, not William Ceballos. Daniel Ceballos, I think from Real Madrid on loan. They got William Saliba, I think, from St Etienne as well, did Arsenal. Yeah, done really good business in the window, to be fair to them. They also signed David Luiz yesterday, that got confirmed. I think they signed him for around £8 million. Obviously, Arsenal had been in search for a centre-half, so maybe Arsenal fans are unhappy with David Luiz. Maybe they obviously thought there'd have been better options in him out there. You got Tottenham as well. They did good business throughout the course of the summer. They they got, Tanguy Ndombele, they smashed their transfer record on him, for 65 million. They also, got Jack Clark from Leeds. I think it got confirmed that they've got Giovanni Lo Celso on loan from Real Betis as well. I think they got him on a long season loan of Tottenham with the obligation to currently buy the player, because obviously it was one of Tottenham's main priority targets anywhere, was Giovanni Lo Celso, but they've got him on the board. I think they also, who else did they get? They got someone else as well. They got Tanguy Ndombele, they got Jack Clark, they got Giovanni Lo Celso, and I think they also confirmed the signing of Ryan Sessegnon from Fulham. And I think the paid was at around 25 or 30 million pounds for Ryan Sessegnon. And my overarching view with Ryan Sessegnon is Man United have been in for him before. We'd been in for him before. Obviously, he hadn't. We'd only been tentatively linked to him. He wasn't one of our main priority targets. We looked at him like, he's a good player. He's Ryan Sessegnon. Obviously, he spent the entirety of his career with Fulham and that, but obviously he confirmed he was reluctant to spend another season basically in the Championship with Fulham, because Fulham are in the Championship, back in the Championship this season, after only spending one season, in the current top flight and that, but he's got that experience as Ryan Sessegnon. He had the experience last season in the Premier League, playing in the Premier League. He had the experience of it playing in the Championship the season before and that. He's only 19 years of age, predominantly a left back. I think can also play as a left winger and that. I think he made over 100 senior appearances for Fulham, did Ryan Sessegnon, and actually became the first player to be born in the 2000s, to score the first team goal and that. But Man United inquired about him quite a few times, but Tottenham did actually confirm the sign of him. I think it was on deadline day, because for quite a while it seemed to be Fulham's valuation that seemed to be the stumbling block, because at one point I think Fulham wanted around 45 million. He literally had a year left on his contract with Fulham anywhere. But I think, at one point Fulham wanted 45 million. Tottenham said, they're only willing to pay around 25 or 30 million pounds. But obviously, they have come to an agreement for the player now. I do believe Leicester made quite a few signings as well. They, I think, signed James Justin. I think, didn't they get James Justin from Luton, if I'm right? I think they also signed Youri Tielemans. Yes, they did sign Youri Tielemans. He also signed Perez from Newcastle. I think Everton have done quite good business. I think they've signed a couple of players. You've got Real Madrid in Spain. They did really good business. I think they spent, their window's still open, but so far, they spent £300 million on 5 players, as far as I'm aware. Atletico Madrid have really done good business. Juventus in Italy, did really good business as well. But you can be frustrated, with the lack of our transfer activity. I'm happy with the 3 signings Manchester United have brought in. We've addressed some of the areas in the squad, but we haven't addressed all of the areas in the current squad. So I do believe in January we've got to find a replacement for Lukaku. Solskjaer, as I said earlier on in the video, has explained why we haven't recruited a replacement, because we want to prioritise the development of Mason Greenwood and that. We do need to add a bit more now experience in that attacking line, without a shadow of a doubt. And I think we need an upgrade to the likes of Jesse Lingard and Juan Mata. Like analysing our squad at the moment, I did say even if we had a manager to the highest level, with a proven pedigree in that, they would still currently struggle with this Manchester United squad. We're not going to win the league this season. I don't think we're going to win the league in the next couple of seasons, to be quite sure. I do believe in the next couple of seasons our aspirations, will be that current top 4 and that. But I did say, we have been a toxic club for the last 5 or 6 years. Obviously, we have been playing catch. And the main factor reason why we have been a toxic club, because obviously, we've been mismanaged. This is the main factor reason why we have been underachieving in that. But analysing, Solskjaer is still in the process of rebuilding, because obviously the majority of this squad's not Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's. There's only 3 players that are his, and that's obviously Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka, and of course Harry Maguire. But like I said, when he confirmed the signing of Harry Maguire earlier on this week, it got revealed obviously how much we spent this summer, and it got revealed how much we spent since Alex Ferguson's retirement, and it is around £968 million. So we spent just under £1 billion in the last current 6 years, and that. So a hell of a lot of money is being spent. Obviously we've got a history of spending big on players, especially in recent years. Lukaku 75 million, but we've recouped that money back now, which is good. Pogba £89 million. Obviously, we paid 50 million for Wan-Bissaka this summer. We paid 80 million for Harry Maguire. Obviously, we paid just under 60 million pounds for Di Maria back under Louis van Gaal, back in 2015 and that. So we have got a history of currently spending on big on players. But some people were saying at the start of the summer, we should be sensible in that of our recruitment this summer. But Solskjaer said at the end of last season that he worked out his transfer strategy, and he wanted to recommend young players to come to Manchester United this summer that can grow, develop and emulate into superstars. But Solskjaer's aim is to build a team to win trophies. That's what his aim is, and he's obviously following Alex Ferguson's philosophy in that. I just don't think we're going to ever be the team as we was under Alex Ferguson. You know, we're never going to achieve what we achieved under Alex Ferguson. No one's going to ever, you know, follow Alex Ferguson's legacy in that. You know, we had a great team under the in Alex Ferguson's generation. We had a fantastic team. There's still some players here now from the Alex Ferguson era, but I just believe that, you know, there's just some players here now that are no longer good enough to represent Manchester United. Prime example, Smalling's not good enough, Jones is not good enough. I think we need to look to get rid of Chris Smalling. Obviously, reports emerged out earlier on this week that Everton had had a loan bid rejected for Chris Smalling, because we must be still part of our plans, but he's going to find game time very difficult this season. You know, with Chris Smalling and Phil Jones, you know, we have seen glimpses of how good they can be in the years they've been here, because they've been 2 long-term players at the football club. You know, we did give them new long-term contracts last season and that, but we did give them new long-term contracts last season, but yeah, they have been 2 long-term players at the club. But I'm glad we brought Harry Maguire in, because he's a good upgrade to the likes of Smalling and Phil Jones. But there's a few long-term players at the club now. You know, there's obviously players that have. There used to be players at the club that were long-serving players at the club. You know, Valencia was a long-serving player at the club. He served 10 years before he left at the end of last season. We had Ander Herrera for what, 5 years? Or was it over 5 years? We had Ander Herrera. We must have had Fellaini for around a good 5 years or something like that as well at the club. You know, if Smalling and Jones have been 2 long-serving players, De Gea, you know, he's been here 8 years, and I'm glad now De Gea is staying at the football club. You've got Juan Mata, who's been long-serving here. He's heading into his 6th season now as a Manchester United player. Is Juan Mata. He initially lost his place in the team last season. You know, he was playing, you know, quite often, you know, towards the back end of last season, was quite impressive, but he could still be in line to play against Chelsea. He may not play, or, you know, he may not start, I don't know, but like I said, I give you my starting 11 prediction, but he could play in this game, seeing as it's his former club, Chelsea. And you know, you've got Rashford. Obviously, I think he'll definitely, you know, play. Rashford's got to improve in that, and you know, Rashford's been in United players since what, you know, the age of 7. You know, progressing up the ranks and that, you know, fantastically well with Rashford. But yeah, so I want improvements this season from Sanchez. Rashford needs to improve, Martial needs to improve, and hopefully, you know, we can see the best from the youth this season. I do believe we will, because pre-season was fantastic. You know, it was 6 wins out of 6. You know, how many goals did we score in pre-season? Was it 12 goals? Only 3 goals conceded. You know, good results in Australia against Perth Glory 2-0, Leeds 4-0. Good result in Singapore against Inter Milan 1-0. You know, good result in Shanghai against Tottenham, winning 2-1. Winning 2-1. Good result against Kristiansund in Norway. Wasn't the best, but still got the victory. And of course, beating AC Milan on penalties and that. And but yeah, Chelsea. It's not going to be easy. But I said they have got problems of their own, because they've got a transfer ban. You know, blah blah blah. You know, obviously they lost one of their best players throughout the course of the summer. You know, through Eden Hazard and that. Obviously they lost David Luiz. But yeah, I'm confident, you know, Manchester United can currently, you know, get the win. We need to get off to a good start anyway, of course. And obviously, if things do start to go wrong this season, you know, obviously, you know, the pressure is going to be on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But I'm not going to blame Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. You know, I'm currently, you know, going to blame the board, and that's just my own opinion on that. And but yeah, nothing really much more to say. So that's your Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's press conference reaction. Also, your Manchester United Chelsea preview. Don't forget, it's 4:30 on Sunday. Is the current kick-off. But like I said at the start of the video, the season kicks off tonight. The Premier League season starts tonight. It's Liverpool at home to Norwich. Obviously, you've got to say Liverpool are definitely know. Well, they should win that game, to be quite honest with you. But my score predictions for the Man United Chelsea game is going to be 2-1, as I said earlier on the video. 2-1 Manchester United. For Liverpool Norwich tonight, I'd say probably 4-1 to Liverpool tonight, or 4-0 maybe. Liverpool didn't have a great pre-season, but pre-season, you know, doesn't really mean much, you know, to be quite honest with you. Yeah, so that's really everything to update today, guys. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon. Thanks for watching.